Hey, it's Otto from the Otto headquarters at the Moonic Productions lair. Welcome. I made a song called Goodbye, and I was compiling all of my solo songs, and I noticed, I've been making solo songs for the past 2 years, and I just kind of noticed that, oh shit, I have quite a lot of these. I could make an album. Let's make one. And then I kind of made it, and I posted it through DistroKid to Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, YouTube Music, Apple Music, all those places. And then I noticed, when it went up, I was looking at the stats, and I noticed that the song Goodbye had the most streams. And I'm like, oh, shit. And it's the last song of the album. So I thought, damn, what if people think I'm gonna go away, or people think I'm gonna die or something? I don't know. So I thought, yikes, maybe I should make a video about it just to say that I'm still here. And, I'm not going anywhere. I'm still just going to be here making music. I love music. It's just what I do, And yeah, the title was pretty clickbaity, for Goodbye. I'm sorry. I just want people to hear my music, man. I don't know what to do. I'm just one dude. I don't know why I'm talking like Mickey Mouse. God, I just want people to hear my songs, I pour a lot into these things. I've heard this throughout the years. It's man, it'd be so cool if you made your own music more. I have my band Kaiser. I've always made my own music, and, there's a lot of creativity that's kind of my own that I put into the covers and all this. But, I just started scratching that itch to sort of, make my own music, because it was kind of getting to me God, there's so much stuff that I used to do when I was a kid. When I was a teenager and just starting out, I'd listen to all the metals and the rocks and System of a Down and all this, but I had all these crazy acoustic songs and a cappella songs I'd do with my mouth, and I'd do different orchestral things at times, and I've done all kinds of crazy stuff. And I love metal and rock. That's never gonna go away. It's in my blood, but I don't want to put myself in this box. There was a song that I made, it was called How It Plays and Ends. It's on the solo album. And when I made that, I was just I just cried. I just cried because it just surprised me. I just realized, throughout the years, I've been just kind of limiting myself, going down this rock and metal rabbit hole, and then just kind of specify. And that's really fun, I love all that stuff, but I like to do all kinds of stuff, and I like to play around with ideas, I really look up to people like Darren Malakian from System of a Down, because he's not afraid to just make things. He just doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care. He's inspired by lots of different music and art, and throughout his life, he's just listened to lots of different music, and whatever he feels is yeah, this will work. This is there's something here. He's not afraid to just have just a huge variety of colors on his music. He's just not afraid, and I love System of a Down. I fucking love System of a Down. Hugely for that reason. There's just humor, heaviness, just drama, it's insane. And there's just all kinds of stuff I'd like to explore. I can do throat singing, Tuvan throat singing. I think that's really fun. Then different artists come along the road of music, like Death Grips or Deerhoof, or then you feel a bit like hardcore punk or a little grindcore out of nowhere. And then you go into Kate Bush. It's just, a human is this sponge of just collecting these different things, and there's inspiration everywhere. There's just inspiration everywhere, and it's just interesting to explore all of these things, and put them together and find out what you can kind of get away with, not maybe get away with, but something that just works as a package. It's exciting. And it's sometimes you just have these ideas. It's what if this is what happened? And it's ooh, holy fuck, wouldn't that be crazy? you know? It's just so fascinating, just music. Like it can be so creative and insane. And I just had so much fun doing the Michael Jackson stuff too, because like I've played around with pop music. I've done electronic stuff. There's just something about this, you just get this weird gut feeling, this instinct, like, man, this is an interesting melody. Oh, wow. Like you just get those ideas sometimes that just come out of nowhere and they just get the chills and it's like, holy fuck, I think those things should be attacked. Take those things and make it. So I've been doing that a lot recently and now it's been like so that I make like one solo song every month or two, something like this. And now there's like this first album. And it's kind of cool because I didn't realize until I collected all these songs together and just kind of made them I kind of knit them together. I mixed them all to kind of sound consistent a little more. And it's interesting. And you think to yourself, is this going to work when it's here? And it's like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, they kind of do. And then they come together and you think about sequencing. And that's when it got really interesting because there really is this like story. Like you kind of see your own past right there. You see the past 2 years of your own life just right there. It's kind of crazy, really, isn't it? Like, you just see that, oh, this is what was going on here, and here's what that was, and oh, I know where that anger came from. Okay, and like, oh yeah, that was a sad period of my life, and I think interestingly, I just went through so much fucking shit the last 2 years, and there was a lot of struggle. We all struggle, and it's really cool because I've learned so much about my life, and just there's just a lot of things in my toolbox that I've like kind of learned to use. I'm very fascinated just by emotions and thoughts and this whole thing. It's just I kind of tend to be quite analytical as a person. Like, oh, this happened. Oh, that's interesting. And then you go through really hard things like grief. When you go through something really hard, it's kind of really hard to see a way out, So I think what's really beautiful about this album is that I think it just kind of, you go through the hard things and you're on the other side and you're kind of here in the present telling the version of you in the past that everything's going to be okay, So I think that's kind of what the album says is like, you go through hard things in your life, but you're going to make it through it and you're going to be okay. So that was really, really cool it just made sense. It just came together, like just everything, just the album cover with the hand holding the skeleton hand, like it's gonna be all right. It made sense to me. And as you can hear from the album, rock and metal is definitely the primary thing there, but it's just what I love. But there's just all kinds of crazy stuff in there too. It's really interesting. And I kind of maybe want to put it out there as like when I put like stuff out, like it's not necessarily gonna be what you expect. And like where I am right now, like, I don't really, at the moment, like to really put boxes. When I come out with music, I kind of, I don't know if you really know what to expect, really, like, that's just where I'm at right now. I'm trying to kind of figure out, like, what is it going to look like when I do music, like, in the future. I think when you have, like, self-expression, you're kind of trying to find yourself out there a little bit. I think a lot of these things that I've made, they happen strangely automatically, kind of like how Darren Malakian says. I think he said something along the lines of, like, I don't really know how it happens when you just form your own sound. I can't explain it just in any other way is that I just try to respect creativity as it is. I've been studying it, and it's just one of those things. It's like, ideas just come to you now and then you resonate with them or you don't, and then you compile them, and then you see if there's something there, and that's just, lots of these songs just kind of happen. It's not really like this thing where you're trying to do something. It just kind of happens, and then you put them together, and it's like, ooh, okay, how is this gonna go? And you just have these things in your head, and it's just, I don't know, you try to capture what's in your head the best that you can. I guess it really is that kind of antenna that people talk about, is like, I really encourage this for other people too, like with music. I encourage all you guys to just play around with it. I mean, you might already know this, like I'm figuring this out way later, it's just, but it's interesting. And where I am right now, it doesn't feel right at the moment, to put really like a box on like what is this like auto music gonna be? You know, right now I think I'm just trying to serve the ideas that sound good in my head. And that's where I'm at right now. Like rock and metal, and then other things get stuck to it. You know, the songs will be what they are. I don't know. So far, they've been very cathartic songs, kind of like write what you're feeling. You know, you write around what you're feeling, and even that stuff, like lyrics, like they can, if you really feel what you're doing, it just kind of comes out. It's really mysterious. I'm just rambling a lot, but this stuff is really mysterious and strange. So it's like, it's interesting to dissect and try to understand if anyone really understands. And I hope I'm not like freaking anyone out. Like nothing's really going to change. You know, I'm just going to keep putting out my own music for like now and then I'll just do the cover songs. Those are just crazy fun and stuff to do. So nothing's going to change. It's just the same thing, really. But you know, just expect to see auto music and maybe you won't know what the hell to expect. And yeah, just check out the album. It's just a digital release right now. You know, it's I don't really know what I'm doing. Like honestly, like right now all I got is I have an album and I worked really hard on it, and it's just me being me. Just, I guess, you know, just doing music, and I hope it resonates with you. I hope you dig it. You know, you'll hear a lot of influences there. There's all kinds of stuff from System of a Down to Torch to Korn to Kate Bush, classical Finnish music, Death Grips, Tool, High on Fire, Sleep, and things that I don't even know what they are. Maybe even some kind of folk metal. I don't know. It's just things that these are just things that are in my head. I don't know what they are. I've done something similar like this when I was a teenager. I think like 19 or something. I made this little solo album called Auto Variations, and there's just like all these things of like just like stoner stuff, folk things, and just all kinds of a cappella. Like it's just right now I have a feeling like that's just kind of who I am as an artist. You know. I just make all kinds of different stuff, and like this brain has some weird things going on, and I don't want to be afraid to make those become a reality. You know, that's just why I love Darren Malakian. He's not afraid. You know, he's not afraid to make music, and I don't know, for anyone of you out there, you know, don't be afraid of making music. Just make the thing. You know, there's like lots of situations, you know, people might be too afraid to start, or they feel like they need to have a specific amount of talent or something. You know, it's so easy to just be afraid, you know, like I got really afraid. I put myself in all these boxes like, oh, you should do this kind of music, and this is like, fuck that. Fuck that. Just do the thing. Just do whatever. Just, I don't know, do something. And then if it sucks, then you learn from it. There's already a bunch of songs that I thought, yeah, these were awesome. And then I'm like, oh, that sucks. I don't know. Like just a part of the process, I guess. You just make stuff and then you dig it for a while, and then you discard it, and then you go on the next thing. I don't know. And yeah, I'm not dead. I'm just here. I'm just Otto, just doing music. Anyway, solo album. What's the solo album even called? Ei helvetti. You'll get through this. It's cool. It's cool. I'm proud of it. I'm happy. I'm very happy with it. It's fun I'm never going to wrap up this video. I don't know how to wrap it up, but it's cool. It's fun. It's fun to have a collection of songs, and it was such a surprise to just hear how they kind of work consistently and how they form a story. And I'm just shocked that so many songs are already here, and it didn't feel like it was that long ago until I made the first one here. Anyway, I don't know how to stop this, so I think I'll stop this now. Have an awesome day. If you want to hear the music, go check it out. There's more solo songs coming from this album. I've kind of made a music video to all of them. You might remember ones where I've been kind of more fat. And there's one where I've cried. There's one with crazy editing that people thought sounded like a Hobbit theme. Yeah, I don't know, all kinds of stuff. How do I end this? Nothing's changed. It is just what it is. Have a nice day, guys. Goodbye. Love you. Fuck. Stop recording, dude.